Hey man, so I got an interesting one for you. It's not something I usually say, but it's a little nicer. Watch this. A cloudy day is no match for a sunny disposition. Welcome to Cody's Corner. Wanted to switch up the energy today. What's going on?
We have a live phone
what?
call coming in.
All right, who is it?
Hello?
Yep.
Yo, if you had to say some, like, your favorite place in Jersey.
Favorite place in Jersey?
Favorite place in New Jersey, like in general?
Yeah.
Like city
Like
or
to
just
go,
a place?
or like a vacation
Just
spot?
anything, like, any specific thing.
Off top, Wildwood.
Wild was already on there. Next.
I'm gonna say Jersey Shore.
Well, okay, I'm gonna give you some examples of what we have.
Six Flags.
I'm gonna just give you some.
Wawa.
Yeah, I'll show you actually. Here you go.
All right.
Oh, you're making a. Oh,
What is he making?
he's making a Monopoly board.
Oh, that's kind of fire. So he's thinking of places.
This is just
Banana King.
Banana King.
I'm gonna
Well,
say.
you could just have Bergen Line.
Oh, if you're gonna put expensive places, put
'Cause
like
it usually is
Hoboken.
just-
Put like Hoboken.
It usually just is like street name, like Bergen Line.
okay.
Ave.
So put Washington Street, Hoboken. You could put like
Kennedy Boulevard.
the green room.
Oh,
That's funny as hell.
you could put 4-star diner.
I don't know.
Oh. I don't know what to get rid of no more.
Damn. Now you were asking. Now you gotta take away.
Instead of putting like railroads, you gotta put like light rail.
We
Or like-
did that already.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
But
We're off to a great start.
we're off to a flying start. You're in the middle of Cody's Corner right now, bro. Say hi to the fans. This is Caillou.
Oh, hey fans. Oh, can I give some sports insights?
Yeah,
Yeah,
real
what's up?
quick.
What you got?
Real quick.
So what are you guys talking about?
Right, it literally, we just hit record and you called, so now we're just rolling.
It's your show right now.
Alright, I'm gonna just say. Let me see who's playing today. I'll give you some insight.
Oh my god, we don't have time for all that, bro. Tell me one thing you really like about a sport right now. Ready, go.
Right now,
Yeah.
so I was of the go to basketball and most underrated players today, and I think that Isaiah Thomas on the Celtics was done dirty. He should have never got traded.
That's
And
facts. That's facts, though. Nah, good take. Yo, thanks for the call.
Yeah, no problem, man.
All right, well, show us the board when you're done.
Alright.
Yeah.
Bye.
Peace. Shout out Caillou, bro.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Cody's Corner.
You know what's
It's your turn.
you know what's crazy? Look, no, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Look, I wouldn't lie to you, P. I was gonna mix it up and let you do it.
Ah,
I swear to God. When
Damn.
I said switch to energy, and you stole it from me.
I didn't steal it. I
You
just read
stole-
your mind.
You stole what was yours.
I read your mind.
So look, man. Welcome to Cody's Corner. Cody's week by week hot takes on who's gonna take the W in the sport that we're talking about at that certain point in time.
Well, when you're talking with David, you have to mention the Isaiah Thomas take.
Oh no, yeah, for sure.
You
Oh
gotta-
yeah. So to let everybody know,
We'll write that down.
it's gonna be a
write it
two-part episode. The first part, we're gonna go through some football stuff with Petey, and then keeping score comes, and that's when David's gonna come in and talk about that. We're gonna keep it a little fresh, you know, things are going on, and we handle them accordingly. So, as far as anything else goes, there is some stuff that I wanted to talk to you about, Petey, if you would allow me to.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
There's
give it to me.
this has been bugging me out because when I heard about this, I was appalled, taken back as a Jets fan myself, and I didn't want to tell you this before we got on the mics, so I wanted to tell you now.
All right.
We're gonna talk a little bit about McCole Hardman for real.
All right.
So I didn't tell you. I saw it. I don't know if you Googled it, but I did.
I saw
You saw it.
bits and pieces.
Okay. Do you know what his first name is?
No, not at all. You didn't want to tell me.
His first name is Carey.
Carey?
It's Carey.
Like Carey?
Yeah. Like a
Carey Hardman? No wonder.
Carey McCole Hardman.
Oh, McCall's his middle name.
McCole's his name. It's not his first name is Carey.
Carey.
That's like Dak Prescott. You know, as someone whose name is I don't know if people know this, but Cody isn't my name.
You're gonna dox
No,
yourself.
I'm gonna. Hey, I want them to know who I am for real.
You've said it already before. You said it last episode, actually.
I said what?
You said your full government.
Yeah, well, my the full government.
Well, you
Did I? Did I say my last name?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, whatever. Well, look, my name is Dakota. For those that don't know that, so I think a lot when people talk about Dak Prescott, because obviously Dak is an abbreviation for Dakota. It's another nickname for the name Dakota, but his name is not Dakota either.
What's his name?
His first name is Rain. I believe it's Rayyn or Rayne, like Wayne with an R. Rain.
Pretty cool.
Rain Dakota Prescott.
Say that again.
Wayne Dakota Prescott. I said Prescott.
Something didn't sound right.
Yeah.
And I wanted to jump in. I was like, I don't know what it was. They just said it wrong.
But let's get into Carrie really quick, shall we?
All right, Carrie.
That's what we're calling him from now on. There's no respect on this side for Carrie.
No?
No.
Carrie Hart.
Hell no. I mean, look, if any of this is true, definitely not.
All right.
I'll put it to you like that. That is,
Tell me the story.
he goes on a podcast called the Pivot Podcast. I don't know much about the podcast itself,
It's a good name.
but it is a cool name because they pivot into different directions, I guess, maybe on what they talk about, whatever. Oh, let's pivot that, whatever. So he goes and he makes a statement, says, I was so checked out, like I was over with, meaning he was injury. I believe he was suffering through an injury, and then he got benched by Xavier Gibson, which is the guy that caught the special teams touchdown in the first Jets game against the Bills in overtime. A player that also had a lot of camera time when it came to the Hard Knocks episodes that they released when it came to the Jets. It seems like the organization was always been favorable of Xavier Gibson over McCole Hardman. Not because McCole Hardman isn't a good wide receiver. There was a lot of, let's say, hoopla from the Jets organization regarding him doing this, and is he a rat? Is he, so we'll get into it. So one of the first people to talk back about Hardman on the internet was
The kicker, right?
the punter,
punter.
Morstead, number 5. I don't know if you remember this man. You're not a Jet fan. I don't know how heavy you'd follow their special teams.
Not their punter.
They
do it often.
There's
though.
a joke. I mean, he's a great. He's one
Better
of the
be
best.
for how many times they punt.
He's one of the best punters in the NFL.
Wow.
He had I believe it was 5 punts that were within the 5-yard line this season. Crazy. Doesn't really happen a lot. But needless to say, he came on social media, and I believe he said something like, disgruntled players that leave your company or your job, workplace, whatever, usually feel more entitled, and then they don't take the opportunity. Basically saying that, McCole Hardman might have come onto the Jets after doing well and having success in Kansas City, expecting a starting position, and then he doesn't get it, and what does he do? He goes on the Pivot Podcast and says he was very checked out in the situation. He had already talked to Brett Veach and Pat Mahomes, and he had hit me up like, come get me.
Little kinky, little freak.
Listen, bro.
Casey's a little freak. He's like, come get this.
I have nothing. That's tampering, bro. Straight up.
Scoop. Yeah.
Excuse me as I sip my drink.
Damn.
I have a lot on my mind.
And in your throat.
Ready, watch this.
Pause.
Excuse me. So, the NFL's tampering policy refers to any interference by a member club with the employer-employee relationship of another club, or any attempt by a club to impermissibly induce a person to seek employment with that club or within the NFL. So, that's exactly what he did. Openly said it. And now he's under the spotlight. There's also rumors going around about him potentially leaking the Jets' offensive playbook to the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs as well. So, in my eyes, as a strong member of the Jets community, he's public enemy number 1 right now.
Number 1.
Number 1. It's him and Woody Johnson. Nah, but
We're recording right now. Woody Johnson. What do you think he's doing right now?
He's probably writing in a book with a quill that David got him for his birthday.
And then he's gonna lay down in bed.
Oh, David, how I have pondered over our thoughts together in my pillow made of ostrich feathers. We shall speak at dawn. Forevermore, Mr. Johnson, a.k.a. Yo Woody. I don't know where that came from, but here
And
it is.
then he rips it out. He goes, rolls it up, ties it.
Yeah. Puts it in a bottle.
He goes. The owl comes in.
He's so rich he has majestic things happening around him.
The owl.
He
comes.
whispers in the owl's ear, "Take this to David's house." What kind of owl? What kind of owl was that?
His owl's more like a hawk.
Owls are like ooh. You say "Haw!"
It's like a peacock.
The owl hawk hybrid. Come hawk owl.
He's that rich.
He's that rich. He
He's
just
got
starts
a hybrid.
genetically mutating animals to do his bidding.
Grabs the paper and
But look, before we get too off topic, there's some more things.
onward.
So until fly till dawn. So look, stop. you gotta focus. So look, man, we don't got David here right now to hold the chains of when we're gonna stop saying stupid stuff. So here we go.
He'd be staring at us.
He would
right
be
now.
staring at us pretty hard right now. Like I gotta say,
You gotta chill.
So thanks for putting that in there for him. It's like you guys are interchanging really well. It's like he tried to hit the I'll see ya, and then he did the boom and bust, and now you're hitting his lines and stuff. It's one big happy family, you know.
Big house, Cody's corner.
So on to more things. As far as look, McCole Hardman, we could leave that right there.
All right.
The other thing I wanted to talk about is Alexander Madison was informed today by the Vikings organization
30 minutes ago.
that he will be released by the Vikings in a week.
Not surprised.
You know, as we went over running backs that have potential going into this season, would you put him on that list?
He's somebody I would target. Like, we were talking about solid backups,
Right.
and I think he's a good one, right?
Right.
He's got to be in that Gus Edwards.
Yeah, J.K. Dobbins.
I think I'd rather him than J.K. Dobbins.
I agree. I mean, look, honestly, he was on the organization initially as a backup. They dropped him, and then they lost Dalvin Cook, so they picked him up again. He was their last option. So the fact that, not to say that they did amazing this year, but their offense was in shambles with their whole quarterback situation and what was going on with that, and trying to configure their playbook around that instead of not being as run heavy. I mean, the offense in general for Minnesota last year was kind of horrible, especially considering they now have the highest paid tight end in football in T.J. Hawkinson. So I don't doubt that they had to make a move.
Do you think they're gonna be looking for another running back?
Well, now the only other running back I believe they have is Cam Akers, I believe.
Ooh.
Well, he's also not anything crazy to be excited about. So
No.
I would pursue a running back. Maybe, I don't know what their draft pick is. Maybe they could try and draft one.
Well, we don't have this on our agenda,
right.
but I heard that Justin Jefferson has been in trade talks.
That'd be unfortunate.
If they trade Justin Jefferson, I don't think they sign Kirk Cousins.
No, I think it'd probably be. I don't know.
I think you
Do you
need.
think they got to do one or the other?
If you're gonna sell, you sell. I don't think Cousins. I also don't think he's in a position where he's gonna not want to play for a playoff contending team.
I actually think it's this way. I think that if Kirk Cousins doesn't go back to Minnesota, I think that
Jefferson gets traded.
Jefferson gets traded.
I like that too.
Then they go into full rebuild.
I think they're like this.
I think they should be. I mean, he made him the number one receiver in the NFL.
Did you see Sauce Gardner tweet? He quoted the tweet about Jefferson maybe getting traded,
Huh?
and he said, "I'm gonna be Le GM Sauce."
Yeah, I don't see any receivers jumping at the chance to be on the Jets anytime soon unless they prove something. I mean, I wouldn't. Look, as a Jet fan, that's what I would say. But look, needless to say, we got a lot to talk about today.
We
you
do.
know?
We could skip
And I
over,
know
yeah.
it's really easy for us to get distracted, especially talking about this sport that we love, you know?
Yeah.
But today, just to let people know before we get into it, is also it's the free agent quarterback episode.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something important that I think that we're going to get into today. There is a couple little notes that, you know, we're going to touch on before we get into the quarterbacks, but I also wanted everyone to know, for those listening, that that's what's coming up for you as you listen on. So let's get into it. Valdez Scantling being released by Kansas City. I know that you're a big fan. How do you feel about that, PD?
I love some scaffolding.
And who doesn't love some good scaffolding? Scaffolding didn't show up in the Super Bowl, though.
He caught a touchdown.
I mean, do you call him the wide receiver number 1 then?
No, he shouldn't be. I think at best, he should be a receiver 3. Best.
Well, on any team or on that
Any
team?
team.
So then he's not
If
that
he's
good.
your number 2,
Well, then you can afford to release him then.
oh yeah, I like him. I have a soft spot for him. I think we've seen what he can do
Right.
with Rodgers.
Right.
Rodgers would throw him like 3 deep balls a game, and this year he just couldn't catch them.
Yeah.
A little weird, not like him.
And you know what? Arguably, those are both top 5 quarterbacks of all time, right? So if he can produce with the one, why can't he produce with another one that arguably is better than Aaron Rodgers?
All right, so he's played with Rodgers. He's played with Mahomes.
Yeah.
Where do you think he's going now? Who's he playing with?
Well, if I'm being honest with you, we got.
Who's of that caliber?
I don't think he needs a star.
I think he wants a star.
I think he needs to build with someone if he's going to get there. I think if
Hot
you're
take.
already a star, sometimes you already expect a certain level of what you know out of your receiver. So maybe if there's a quarterback that's a little bit younger, maybe trying to build his portfolio, maybe trying to develop into a player as you go along, then that might make more sense. You know, I'm gonna leave that right there because there's a quarterback on our list that I could see him teaming up with.
Can I make a guess of where he's going to go?
Yeah, sure. Shoot me a guess.
Bills.
Okay.
Josh Allen,
Okay. I like
a
it.
guy that could sling it.
I like it.
Why not throw the scaffolding deep?
I like it. But
He looked good in that blue and the red, white, and blue.
I don't like the uniform. I'm not a fan of the Bill uniform. I'm not a fan of the Bills, period. And I forgot the name of I think it's an old lineman from the Bills that went on like a stream or a podcast. He was shirtless with a bunch of tattoos on, trying to say the Jets are not even all that. You know, I heard their locker room is bad, and they're just a bunch of people that play football because it's cool and not because of the sport. And then Sauce came on Twitter, X, and he was like, he said, "You're talking about we just do stuff to be cool, but you're on a podcast with your shirt off," which is facts.
I like Sauce.
Bro.
I think Sauce has a great social media presence too.
He definitely does. He likes to be in tune with the public. I think it's cool. I think there's nothing wrong with actively seeing, you know, a little sportsman like beef to get fans riled up. I think that's exactly what at least Jet fans are looking for. Hey, that's our division, you know, the Bills. That's like who we're worried about in the division now. It's not the Pats anymore. Maybe Miami, but right now it's the Bills. So if they want smoke, you know,
Well,
we got Sauce.
speaking of New York teams,
Huh.
we have our star running back from the Giants
Right.
turning his eyes to another team.
I wonder what team could that be, Petey?
A young team in Texas.
I believe that was the team that you named potentially, to go to.
It's like I know football.
So apparently,
He's too good of a fit. Apparently, he's been texting C.J. Stroud.
whoa, hey.
He said, "Come get me.
Listen, no,
Come get me."
But I don't know, man. Look, I don't want to throw anybody out there, you know, because I wouldn't wish a McCole Hardman on anyone. So
Well, look, the Texans. I saw they were the favorites apparently to get Mike Evans.
that's also an interesting.
I don't
combo.
think that makes so much sense, because you got Nico Collins, You have Tank Dell.
None of them are stars.
Tank Dell's a star.
Tank Dell's not a
Nico
star.
Collins was a star last year.
To
They
be-
were both top 15 running receivers.
They were like interchangeably injured though. Like one was going crazy because the other one was injured, and then he would get hurt, and then the other
I'm
one would
just
come back.
saying.
It was Tank Dell, Noah Brown, and
No, Nico Collins is above
Nico
Noah
Collins. Yeah, but Nico Collins was hurt for a long time, and then it was Noah Brown and Tank Dell. Tank Dell started going crazy. Tank Dell got hurt.
Brown. Nico Collins started going crazy.
And then Nico Collins came back, and then Noah Brown started going crazy. It was very interchangeable between the three. I don't see any reason to believe that they wouldn't want a go-to guy to make it a little easier.
I think Tank Dell's your go-to guy on that team. He's young too.
You don't think it's Nico Collins?
No, I think it's Tank Dell. I think Tank Dell will be the number one. I like I said, I think this is a receiving core that's really good, and I think it makes more sense to get somebody like Saquon
Right.
instead of a receiver, because you could get Mike Evans and then really build that receiving core. But where's your running back?
This is my problem. This is my problem with all the hype around what is Houston right now. I've said it before. I've said it again. It's our boy. He's a dog. CSJ Stroud the fourth, what we call him on the show. CJ Stroud. He's an amazing player. Offensive Rookie of the Year this year. I've always said it. I don't trust rookie quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a small, very slight chance. I hope not. He was a gift to see this season. There's a chance he's not that.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
So if he's not that, right? Now you got a star receiver at the end of his career, Mike Evans, and a star running back.
I don't think they get both.
You think it's one or the other?
I think that's why. I think it's one or the other, and I think Saquon makes more sense.
Houston has always enjoyed running the ball, I would say. Even when they had DeAndre Hopkins, even when they had Deshaun Watson, even when they had, anybody you could think of. They like running the ball. They always like third and inches. They always like, short and go. I think that is a team that they need to they need to focus on. They need to focus on building something around CJ to prevent him from getting hurt. Maybe like an O-line move, things that won't like jeopardize his growth. But on another note, on a quarterback that's on the exact opposite of the scale.
You have C.J. Stroud.
You got C.J. Stroud all the way at the end, and then you have only what someone could dream. And Zach Wilson was informed that he can potentially be traded by the New York Jets and has allowed his agent to pursue trade options with other NFL teams. Who cares?
That's to me. That's like the Jets are like, yeah, go.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
We're gonna cut you anyway, but if you want to find
Yeah.
a team,
And I do want to speak for Jet fans that believe in Zach Wilson.
there's still some that believe.
There are. No. You want to know who's a big advocate?
Don't say it.
No, you know who I'm going to say.
Don't say it.
Noel. Huge Zach Wilson advocate.
Ooh.
If you talk to Noel right now, nah, bro, I don't know. I think this kid has talent. You just got to, it's just not his da-da-da. Look, he thinks that he's one of those people that says, okay, if you put him on San Francisco, he'd be Brock Purdy. He's one of those.
I don't know.
So it's not my stance. My true stance is that get him the hell out of here, right? But
I think he could be better than how he's played on the Jets, but I don't think it's a lot better.
what I think, if I'm being honest, forget in a journalistic way. This is me being just as blunt with you as possible. He needs to go to a team with really low standards, right? So that anything that he does is a benefit to him. The Commanders.
That's a good one.
They have a decent receiver in Curtis Samuel, and they have a really good running game. in Brian Robinson and in
Antonio Gibson's a free
Antonio-
agent.
He is, but he could get re-signed there if they potentially. I mean, he's been there for a minute, so I could also see him staying. But that's neither here nor there. I think that they have a very low standard for themselves, and if they were to just pick him up, especially after potentially losing Jacoby Brissett in free agency because he was there, I think that it would be nothing but a positive for him.
I don't hate it.
Yeah. As I continue to sip my drink.
I need to look at a full list of, like teams.
But I'm glad that we're here, PD. Because now is the time for us to really talk about what we came here to talk about. The icing on the cake, some might say. Ugh. You have no idea what team Zach Wilson would work with right now. All right, let me ask you this. Anywhere that you would put him, is he a starter?
No.
Okay.
No.
So then it doesn't even matter.
I think he'd be a good fit. A better fit in Seattle.
Yeah, but for that, they keep Drew Lock.
For that, you keep Drew Lock.
But this is the problem.
no.
This is the problem. If we're going to get it, look, before we hop on this
He's not a
10
starter on
list,
any team that I'm
he's
looking
not a
at
starter
right
on
now.
any team, but you know who I could see him being a good backup for? Green Bay.
Maybe.
I could see him with a cheese head on. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Rocking that green. Maybe he gets the number 2 back. He takes that Mason Crosby number.
I mean, look, the Rams have interest in him.
Yeah, I heard that too. I would like that too. He's a little more. I mean, it seems that he could be a little more mobile than
I'd hope he could be more mobile
than Matt
than
Stafford.
Matt Stafford.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man.
All right, look, I've spoken enough about Zach Wilson.
Yeah, me too. Honestly, I was trying to fill in time with you, but I couldn't do it. So we're gonna talk about this quarterback, and then we're gonna hop right into the list,
let's
shall
do
we?
it.
So this was also ludicrous, if I say so myself.
Ludo.
You like that one, right? I just, we didn't talk about rap.
Ridicolo.
Every time, right before we get into any podcast, it just so happens that we have like a little rap intervention conversation where we argue what is good or not about rap. So I think that on that note, this is Luda, okay? Russell Wilson said that his goal is to win at least 2 more Super Bowls in the next 5 years. Now, at first glance, I read this on Instagram and I said to myself, he's out of his mind.
No, he's insane.
He is insane. However,
You know how crazy it is
just listen to me. Hear me out, please.
to say that?
Listen. I want to tell you that is the mindset that I would want out of a quarterback
That has a quarterback?
that is going to probably not be on my team next year because I want him to either be number one. I feel he's so delusional that we're going to win anyway. But if you're going to pursue a quarterback in free agency, as we're going to talk about today, you want him to have that mentality. You don't want. Why would you draft an older quarterback if his mentality is like, I'm at the end of my line. If we win, good. If not, whatever. I still think he's going to go to the Raiders.
It makes too much sense.
Yeah,
I don't see many other All right, so look. Let's go rapid fire.
Okay.
You're going to say no, maybe.
Well,
I see it.
Okay.
Bills,
No.
Dolphins,
No.
Jets.
Yes.
You see him going to the Jets.
I could see him working on the Jets. I don't see him actually wanting to go to the Jets. No.
Okay. Patriots.
Yes.
Yeah, me too. Cowboys,
No.
Giants,
No.
Eagles.
Yes.
Jalen Hurts is there.
You're gonna tell me Russell Wilson wouldn't fit there?
Not over Jalen Hurts.
All right. Okay. Keep going.
Commanders.
Yes.
No, that's anybody that can throw a ball over there, huh?
I mean, they could use anyone.
We said Zach Wilson.
Sam Howell was leading the league in passing yards. Don't get it twisted, but he's
All
not.
right.
Russell
Baltimore.
Wilson. No.
Bengals.
No.
Browns.
No.
Steelers.
Yes.
Fine. Bears.
No.
Lions.
No.
Packers.
No.
Vikings.
Yes.
If they don't get Kirk Cousins, yeah, maybe. Texans.
No.
Colts.
No.
Jaguars.
No.
Jaguars.
Shout out David. No.
Titans.
No.
Falcons.
Yes.
Okay. Panthers.
No. Well, I want to also put this out on the line. This is us,
He's gonna be a Raider.
This is us not assuming that, with any drafting of quarterbacks by these teams. This is with
Yeah.
everyone that stands. In
Yeah,
the
maybe we should
NFL.
come back to this after.
We
the
should.
draft,
We
yeah.
should. So,
He's gonna be a Raider.
that's the other thing that is hard about us
I
talking
don't see
about.
many other fits.
I'm sorry.
I don't see many other fits. I think he's a Raider.
Yeah, I know. That's what they like. They like veteran players also over there. So, on that note, I think that is something important for us to talk about. I'm glad that we did that. I'm glad that you brought that up in that way because us, as we go down this free agent quarterback list, we can only talk about their value that they could add to a franchise as they are before the draft class. Because when we come to the draft class, we'll have a little further discussion about where they fit as
We'll
the
revisit
teams
this.
develop.
Yeah.
Exactly. So with that being said, let's hop into the top 10 free agents going into 2024-2025. As according to CBS Sports.
CBS Sports are our main source for all sports.
Sure. I mean, I use. You made it sound official. I believed you for a second. I use a lot of ESPN personally. Just Google in general.
I don't use CBS very often.
So to start it off, I brought this player up before, so we could talk about it now. Drew Lock.
What order are you going in?
I'm going 10-1.
10-1. Okay, just so
Yeah.
I know.
Drew Lock, the former second-round pick, hasn't posted a winning record as a starter since his 2019 rookie season with the Denver Broncos. But he kind of had like a on-again, off-again season so far when it came to Geno Smith. It seemed like they had a really good quarterback room in general. Like both of their flows were doing well. So what do you think, Petey? What do you think about Drew Lock and where he is now? He's 27.
I think he's a backup. And I think he's a good one.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Because I like Drew Lock. I like
Drew Lock.
I do like Drew Lock. I think he's very accurate. I think that even though I don't think he has the most strong arm, I think that he's an extremely accurate passer. And I think that he's very slept on athletically as well. I don't know. If we're talking about starting quarterbacks this season coming up, I don't see him being better than a lot of players, you're right, but he's also not anywhere near the worst.
No,
And
I think he's one of.
But people don't talk about him.
I think he'd be like a top 5 backup in the league.
So he doesn't deserve a starting position.
I don't think so. Not yet.
I think you could see him in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and I think he'd be fighting for a spot.
Yo, I'm pretty sure I saw this wild statistic today, bro, and it was like in Kenny Pickett's last 500 games, right? That's the name of the quarterback from the Steelers, Kenny Pickett,
He's played 500 games.
or 500 snaps, something like that. Hold on.
I don't think he's played 500 games.
No, not 500 games. I'm tweaking. No, Kenny Pickett in his last 500 snaps. I believe he completed 70 out of whatever the full amount of his touchdown attempts were, and it was at only like 1.8% of his attempts.
It's not very good.
It's the lowest of any quarterback
To ever throw football?
in the last 50 years.
Oh, to ever throw football.
That's disgusting. So, with that being said,
Drew Lock is an upgrade.
Drew Lock is an upgrade.
Okay.
There's a lot of teams that are struggling, not knowing what is coming next of their quarterback situation, and I think that I could see him there. According to CBS Sports, our favorite sponsor of all the whatever you said before, our number one source of information or whatever.
I think it's going to go... I think it depends the route he takes. I think whether he wants to be a backup on a good team or fight for a starting spot is going to determine what team he goes on. If he wants to be, hey, I'm just going to play backup to a good team where if somebody goes down, I can contribute and like win.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the Bills, maybe the Cowboys, maybe...
This here says the Bears. What do you think about that?
I don't even like the Bears and a QB right now are just I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do.
This is the thing, right?
I don't know their plan. They don't know their plan.
They don't know their plan. Correct. That's absolutely correct. Is that even when you ask
I
people,
think there's a world where they draft Caleb Williams and they keep Justin Fields,
no.
and they be weird.
I'm gonna tell you, I disagree with you.
I think they can be weird.
I think it's one or the other.
They're a weird team.
What do you?
I think-
What does that even mean? You think that like?
I think maybe they draft Caleb Williams, they play him for a year, and they're like, this guy isn't what we thought he was. And you still got Justin Fields there.
Well, what I see, if it were to come down to the Bears, right, which I don't think it
I don't
would.
think it will.
I don't think it would at all. It would be either Justin Fields stays and he's the backup to Justin Fields, or I think Caleb Williams shows up, and then you start Drew Lock over Caleb Williams. If you want to make sure he's as good as he should be. I mean, that is coming from someone who does not believe in starting rookie quarterbacks.
All right, I'm gonna give you my two teams.
All right, and then I'll give you two after that. Go
Yeah.
ahead. As I crack open my seltzer.
I'm gonna say the Colts.
No, you're wrong.
I'm gonna explain why.
Okay.
You have Gardner Minshew out.
Right.
You have Anthony Richardson coming back from an injury.
Right. When they love him.
They
in
love
the
him.
organization.
They do.
Like, the league is excited to see the return of this kid.
Yeah.
So,
Now he goes there.
Right.
He plays that Minshew role. He's behind AR. He's a little veteran guy that could talk in his ear, help him out.
Okay.
If AR goes down, you have Drew Lock to turn to, which is like not a bad guy to have to turn to,
I mean, look, I wouldn't consider, like you said, his rookie season was 2019. I don't know. Do you call him a veteran?
He's 5 years in. He's a vet.
But he was behind Russell Wilson his whole career.
I don't think he's a vet.
I don't really have faith in a veteran who hasn't had enough starting time to be called the guy.
All right.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
if he wants to be that definition of a
I'm
veteran by
sorry.
your definition,
Yo,
I'm going to say he goes to the Titans.
I could see that.
He fights Will Levis for a starting spot.
I could see that.
Levis has improved much last year. He showed glimpses,
Right.
but he's not like, we're not like, oh, that's that guy. He's him. That's the quarterback for the Titans.
He thinks he's that guy.
He thinks so.
He wishes he
But
was
I
that
think
guy.
Drew Lock can earn that job and take it.
I like it. Now, I'm going to hit you with two.
Okay.
As a backup, put him in Jacksonville.
The Jaguars
The Jaguars.
with Trevor Lawrence.
The Jaguars.
With Trevor Lawrence.
Lizzie Jaguar. Obviously Trevor Lawrence is the guy.
He's
Without
the
it,
next best thing.
since sliced bread.
Since, like, it's quoted by your dad.
Quoted by my dad. Shout out my dad. Look, I think a good come in the game guy, God forbid something happens, I think he's a good guy to go to. Like you said, he's someone that's reliable. If he's good in the locker room, he's nothing but a bonus to the chemistry between all the players. Excuse me. Oh, all that seltzer. No, but on a more serious note, I want to say that they also don't know what's going on with their receiving room in Jacksonville as far as Calvin Ridley, who's going to be there next year.
He's going to be a Chief.
I mean, for his sake, I hope. But without that being said, I feel like their offense might have to move into a different direction that focuses more on you don't need such a good receiver because you have Evan Ingram that hopefully is going to keep blossoming into the player he was at the end of the season, as well as the volume that they're probably going to expect out of Travis Etienne. So I think that with that being said, he's projected $4 to $5 million per year on his contract. I could see him in Jacksonville.
All right, what else you got?
The other thing,
I'm getting tired of talking about Drew Lock.
honestly,
It was nice while we had it.
I want to give you a sneak one. I'm gonna say
Say the Commanders. I know you want to.
Arizona.
That's another backup position.
Yeah, but you can't really trust Kyler Murray either. I think he has a chance of fighting for starting position.
I don't think over Kyler.
I think Kyler's on the decline.
You should just say the Commanders for everybody on this list.
No, I won't. I refuse.
So they're looking for a quarterback.
Okay, so let's keep going then if we're looking so hard. Tyrod Taylor,
Oh,
number 9.
God.
Your boy, the New York Giant. I was impressed with Tyrod Taylor when he
He's
played
alright.
last year. Nah, I was impressed. Obviously, there was all the hype, with the boy Tommy Cutlets, this and that. Is he going to be the guy? What's going on with the quarterback situation in New York in general? How do you feel about, where is Saquon going to be? There's a lot of question marks as far as the New York Giants offense next year in general. Oh, this is his 14th season.
Ooh.
But it's true. This was arguably one of his best seasons in 2023, even though he struggled to stay on the field. He did get injured himself, which is why Tommy DeVito came in the first place. But up to that point, he wasn't doing too bad.
He was doing all right. This is the problem.
Let's hear it.
He's a good player, and he'd be a great number 2 on a team.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is he can't stay healthy.
Right.
And I think that is super important out of a number 2 for me.
Right.
Because let's say your number 1 gets hurt for an extended period of time.
Right.
You're like, all right, this is our guy. This is our number 2. We're turning to him.
Mm.
Like, help us get there until this guy's healthy and back.
Right.
Then he gets hurt. Now you're down to a number 3.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of ties in with what we were saying.
That's what happened to the Giants.
Yeah. But that kind of ties into what we were saying last week about why would J.K. Dobbins go to the Bengals? Why would you back up an injured running back with another injured running back?
Yeah, exactly.
Very similar scenario in why would you want to bring someone else in that doesn't save your problems that you already face as an offense, but then give you the same issues to then let that paper trail get longer than it needs to. I'm going to give you 2 teams. I want to let you give me 2 teams right after that.
I'll give you 1. I'm not talking about Tyrod Taylor too much.
I want to talk about Tyrod Taylor. I say the Browns.
Okay.
And I'm going to say the Commanders.
I don't agree with the Browns
Why not?
because Deshaun Watson also is one that gets hurt often. So why have a backup that's injury prone when you have a starter that's injury prone?
I'm going to tell you why. Because something tells me, and I don't want to jinx anyone in the NFL, but so I have a hunch, right, that Deshaun Watson is not going to deal with those same injury issues. Oh, man, is that my phone? Forgive me. I don't see him dealing with the same issues that other people may have faced in their latter part of their career. In those back-to-back injury type of seasons, I think that Deshaun Watson is probably going to have an improvement just because of his health alone. So I've always been a fan of give me 2 quarterbacks on my team. They have 2 different play styles.
All right.
So with that being said, give me Deshaun Watson that is a pass heavy, and then give me Tyrod Taylor who is mobile. So that way, when my starter does go down for any reason, you kind of throw someone off.
All right. Well, my pick,
Let's hear it.
the opposite mentality that you have actually.
Okay.
Let's say the Ravens. You have a quarterback who stays healthy for the most
I like
part.
that. Get
So if something
Huntley
does
out of there.
happen, you get Huntley
Get Huntley.
on a rocket ship
Let
and
Tyrod
send him to the moon.
Listen, let Tyrod wear that number 2 that Huntley's wearing.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. I
Look,
like that.
Send him to Baltimore. Lamar Jackson's a stud. Doesn't get hurt too often.
Mm-hmm.
When he does, hopefully he doesn't, but if he does, you have Tyrod Taylor right there to play a couple games for you, and he's a very similar player to Lamar.
Right.
So you don't have to change up the game plan too much.
I like
I
it.
think he's a good fit as the number 2 in the Ravens.
I like that for sure.
Have
Now-
fun in Baltimore, Ty.
Tyrod.
Ty.
Oh, friends call him Ty
I call him Ty.
because you're sending him off as a Giants fan.
Yes.
Bidding him adieu.
Yep. Not on the rocket shit that Huntley's on.
Pop quiz. How do you spell adieu? Like I bid you adieu off the top of your head. Ready, go.
ADU. I know it's not right. It's the best I can give you.
No, it wasn't far off. Ready?
Is there an O in there?
No. A-D-I.
Oh, there should
E.
not be an I.
It's,
An E?
It's French. A-D-I-E-U. It's adieu.
It's not one of the best words we've gotten from the French.
No. What? Wait. We've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
Camouflage.
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 That's an interesting word, but yeah, fun fact for anyone that didn't know that the word camouflage has French origin.
Camouflage.
Camouflage.
Camouflage. Put on my
Talk about
camouflage.
someone who was in the game all season long, low key and camouflage. Number 8, you got Joe Flacco on this list. More excited about Joe Flacco in his 17th season than Tyrod Taylor in his 14th?
No.
No, you.
I think he's done enough to earn himself another job next season.
Right.
Flacco easily could have just stayed home last year and then stayed there for the rest of his life.
Right.
But I think,
But he strapped up,
yeah,
got to work,
yeah,
did what he had to do.
yeah.
Look, man, I think that
He's going to be a Charger. Actually, I'm going to say he goes unsigned to start the season.
He's not gonna make it to a roster.
I don't think so. Maybe. What's it? Okay, I'm trying to think, actually.
I got an interesting one.
Yeah,
for
you go for
I got
it.
an interesting one for you. Ready? Joe Flacco to the Saints.
I have a good answer that I like. I don't mind that. But I think the Saints have too many question marks at QB.
Exactly, they need that.
I don't know, but I think Flacco's a good veteran behind somebody. I don't know.
If he stays in the East Coast, I could also see him in Philly.
I don't mind that.
You know, averaging about $4 to $5 million per year. I don't know.
I have a good fit.
Let's hear it.
I have a really good fit.
Let's hear it.
Texas.
No,
Houston.
I don't see it.
Man, you have C.J. Stroud, a young buck.
Right.
Bring in the vet.
With
The vet of vets.
with one of the most beautiful balls thrown in the NFL.
Teach him a
today.
little something, you know?
Yeah.
Stroud's on the field. You just have Flacco there chilling.
Listen,
Just
man,
being an extra veteran presence.
this is the truth about how I feel about Joe Flacco.
If the Texans get Flacco and Saquon, I might be a Texans fan next year.
You're out of your mind.
I might be.
You're gonna be a Texans fan?
While the Giants aren't doing anything, yeah, sure.
How old are you?
26.
It's
It's not too late to change teams.
It's too late.
No, I'm not changing teams. While the
It's
Giants
too late.
aren't going to be competing for a playoff spot,
That's your playoff team to root for?
yeah.
Okay, I'm not mad at it.
You know how I was like a Colts fan last year?
Yeah, figure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or a Buccaneers fan last year.
So they say, fan.
Fan figure.
I don't know, man. But you're very right when you say that he played. Oh my god! Excuse me. This.
Yeah.
No, but look. On a more serious note, you were definitely right when you said that he definitely played well enough to guarantee, or he should be on someone's roster next year.
Yeah.
He's not one of those players that he wouldn't make it to a roster. I don't think. You said that you don't even think he would make someone's list. I disagree.
I don't
with
think.
you.
I think there's a chance that the season starts and he hasn't signed to a team yet.
I'll put it to you like this: there are other players on this list that I could see not starting or being on the team next year before Joe Flacco. Put it to you like that, straight up. Like there's other teams that don't really need to be concerned with a 39-year-old. Paying a 39-year-old $4 to $5 million a year. Get out of here.
Takes $3 million and goes to Texas.
Look, I could see him. That's another person I could probably see on the Raiders. To be honest with you, get another veteran presence that with a little decent experience, throwing it to Devontae Adams, because Devontae Adams I don't think is going anywhere.
He might.
But well, look.
He might want to.
That's the thing, though. There's a lot of question marks in that team in general. So, like, do you think that realistically they're gonna lose a number one receiver potentially, one of the most asked about running backs in free agent market currently, and they don't know who their quarterback's gonna be next year?
Chance of it.
Raiders going to a full rebuild.
I think if the Raiders don't get, I'm blanking, Jacobs back, I think Devontae might ask out.
All right, I got a good team. I think he can go to. I'll put it right there, and then we'll move on.
All right.
Seattle.
Fine.
I think him. If Drew Lock leaves, he gives that veteran presence to Geno Smith.
Geno Smith's also a veteran.
Yeah, but at least now, if someone goes out, you're not relying
The
on.
Chargers of Herbert.
I don't know.
I'm looking for a young team.
I think Harbaugh is also looking for a young team as he's been moving in the combine. Stop putting on his own stopwatch on the 40. I don't think he wants an older presence on his team like that.
No, he might not get an older presence, but he can go for a nice guy presence.
Speaking of a nice guy presence, you got number 7, Jameis Winston.
It's a nice guy.
I just
guy.
want to say, for real, CBS Sports did him super dirty with the picture that they put of him on this list. It's his cheeks puffed out to the absolute max, like he's in the middle of going.
He's about to launch that ball.
Yeah, right into the defender's hands. Listen, I always think about the Eat a W video meme. He's like, and he's literally like sucking on his fingers on the sideline. That's a W. He doesn't impress me at all. And to be honest, I didn't want to foreshadow that much, but I could see Jameis Winston not being on a roster.
That's unfortunate because you're not going to like my pick then.
Huh.
The New York Jets.
No.
I think the Jets are looking for a backup.
I wouldn't want him.
The Jets are looking for a backup.
Okay.
This might be one of the better options they can land.
You're wrong about that.
There's better options.
I don't think he's a good player. And
But what is he?
I don't think that.
But what is he? A beloved locker room presence. Which, when I watched the Jets Hard Knocks, I'd see him fitting right in there with Sauce.
Like personality-wise.
Garrett Wilson. Yeah. I see him fitting in there with that group of guys.
Oh, I don't know, man. The truth is that I liked him when he was on the Buccaneers. That was the year that he had the most passing touchdowns and the most interceptions. So, needless to say, I don't think anybody ever doubts his athletic ability in general, but he's not that accurate.
Is there anybody that we spoke about before him that you would rather? Would you rather Locke, Taylor,
I'd
Flacco?
rather Locke.
You'd rather Locke?
I'd rather Locke, and I'd probably rather Tyrod, to be honest with you.
Man, I don't know.
That's just me being real with you. And on top of that, I don't think that the Jets would be willing to take him in after the whole I called this play on my own because I wanted to, whatever thing.
He's like that. And it worked.
I don't think the Jets would like that.
Oh, they'll love that.
You think so?
Yeah.
The Jets aren't that kind of team.
Yeah, they are.
What makes you say that?
I don't know.
What? Yeah, you don't even know.
Yeah.
You just like disagreeing with me just cause, it's childish. What was that? We're not gonna talk about that meme. But speaking about memes,
where are you gonna go with that?
This guy's a meme.
Carson Wentz is a meme?
I think he's a meme. Have you seen him do anything significant on grass in your most recent memory?
No.
Okay, well there you go. He's on the Rams right now. It looks like, there's potentially, like we said earlier, maybe Zach Wilson is being pursued by the Rams. If a team is pursuing Zach Wilson and you are there, you have to be kind of booty, bro.
I must say, we've obviously already seen the best of Carson Wentz. That's behind him. Long behind him.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to say he's not on a team to start the year.
Is it more likely to you that... Oh, well, I feel like I know your answer. But is it more likely to you that Joe Flacco does not have a starting position or Carson Wentz? Okay. Carson Wentz or Jameis Winston?
Wentz.
Carson Wentz or Tyrod Taylor?
Wentz.
So why is he number 6 on this list, CBS
I don't know.
Sports? What's going on?
Yeah, CBS. Maybe we should use a different source, huh?
Maybe we should make you the number 2.
I don't know. I think it's gonna take into a season where somebody gets hurt, and they're like, let's. Because I'm trying to remember when the Rams picked him up.
I believe they picked him up this year.
It was during the year.
During the year, yeah.
Yeah.
He was a free agent. I remember because.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be the same situation.
Well, look, it's funny enough. It says it right here on the CBS article, but it's facts though. Sometimes, you got to follow in someone else's footsteps. And who was the last quarterback to play half a season for a team and then make it to be what he is now, a star? Baker Mayfield. Baker was on the scout D defensive line for the Panthers. And then from there, he signed a 1 year with the Rams.
And now he's about to make $70 million.
And he won a couple games with the Rams, I believe, 1 or 2. And now he's a Buck, and he turned that into his team, man. So you never know. Maybe Carson Wentz can make something out of himself. Averaging $4 to $5 million. Also, he's 31.
He's not that old. I don't know.
Let's throw it out there. Ready? Commanders.
I'm going to say Commanders and only Commanders.
I got another one for you. I'm going to say Atlanta.
Okay. I'm going to say Commanders or free agent.
That's unfortunate. Carolina?
No.
All right, fine. Speaking of Commanders, number 5, one of my preferences, someone I hope to see in the green and white, Jacoby Brissett. I'm going to start it off rib. It's not tampering if I do it. Jacoby Brissett.
Come get me.
I will come get you. Send me your address. I recently fixed one of my car mirrors. I can make it to you no problem. Just call me Uber. I will pick you up myself. Always been a fan. I like his arm. I think he's a smart player. I think that he has been doing well. He got injured last season. His mustache is rocking. Average, he's expected 5 to 10 million. That shows you something. He's kind of been worth a little more than anybody else from 6 to 10 on this list. Best team fits here says Browns, Jets, Cardinals, Pats. I hope to God he doesn't go to the Patriots.
I was going to say I think it might be the Patriots.
No, please, no. I would be so angry. I'd be so angry because I'd have to root against him directly. And I'd be so upset. For a long time, I swore by it, and I'll say it now. I think he was the best backup quarterback in football.
Wow.
I do. I swear by that.
Better than Jake Browning?
And his peak, yes. The earliest I remember seeing him was on the Colts. I believe he was the backup to Andrew Luck.
Wow.
And he for a while he was also the backup for the Browns. I believe he was also on the Commanders now. He's looking for a new home. Look, I have an extra mattress in my basement. I promise I'll buy you a frame. We'll figure it out. Jacoby, friends call him Jay.
So you're gonna say the Jets?
Come on, bro.
I'm gonna say the Patriots.
No.
Yeah, I think he's gonna.
I can't hear you.
I think he's gonna break your
la,
heart.
la, 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 la. Oh my God! Quick, let's talk about something else. Number 4.
Speaking of breaking hearts, the heartthrob himself.
Oh man,
Gardner Minshew.
So now you look back at what was this last season and how he didn't expect to be into the position he was with Anthony Richardson going down so early. It seems like a lot of the NFL in general is pretty excited to see what is going to come out of Anthony Richardson. They expect a lot out of him. So with that being said, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of space for Gardner Minshew left in that picture. Where do you see him going? I know you were a big fan of his.
I do like the way he plays. I think he did great on that team.
Yeah.
I think I think he might stay on the Colts.
Yep.
I think he might go to the Vikings. If they don't get Kirk, I think you pivot.
I gotta say, pivot podcast. So I gotta say, when it comes to the Vikings, I know they have a lot of quarterback trouble, but they have a lot of quarterbacks on their roster right now.
Do they?
They do.
Who?
They have Josh Dobbs.
Free agent.
I know, but he's there.
No, he's a free agent. He's not on the team.
But listen, then you also got I'm pretty sure they went through like 4 different quarterbacks this season.
This last season, yeah, but I'm saying going into this next season, they don't have any options right now.
I don't know, man. I guess you're right. I mean, even though they're free agents, I think there's something to be said about, like, sometimes quarterbacks that are free agents may get re-signed just because they're familiar with the organization.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think
I
that
don't think that's gonna be the case of Joshua Dobbs.
I don't. Joshua Dobbs is another interesting situation. But before I don't remember my train of thought here, I wanted to say that I think that Gardner Minshew is really loved by Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for them not to love him. He basically almost took them to the playoffs. If it wasn't for that last pass, was it him? Was it the receiver? That doesn't even matter. But he showed up when they needed him for sure. When they were ready to invest all their time in someone else, he picked up his cleats and he got the job done. So.
Minshew mania.
Minshew mania. Someone else that could probably benefit out of being in Pittsburgh. They got some pieces.
Don't do
there.
that to him.
No, but they have some pieces. All they need is a quarterback, bro. It's true, bro. They have Deontay Johnson. They have the other Kenny something. Isn't it?
Pickens?
George Pickens.
George Pickens.
So I got that confused because I thought it was Kenny Pickett and Kenny something else, but it's Kenny Pickett and something.
Pickens. There's a lot of picks.
It's a whole lot of Pickens. And then they got Najee Harris, and then they got
Jalen Warren.
They got some pieces over there. Your boy Freiermuth.
Sipping on some Freiermuth on a Saturday night?
Come on, bro. You're gonna
All
tell
right,
me?
fine. Send Garner to Pittsburgh.
Come on, dude. You can't look. A little. I could definitely see Gardner Minshew sipping a little.
Colts,
Freiermuth.
Steelers, Vikings. Pick one. I'm talking to Gardner, not you.
Oh, okay. I was about to say something else. Now, number 3 on this list, I don't know why he's number 3 on this list. I gotta tell you.
I know you're
36. It's his 13th season. Ryan Tannehill. I don't know, and it's true what they say. Their O-line is something horrible. That is why they potentially might lose this quarterback. That's potentially why they probably might lose Derrick Henry. It's such an important part of a team that isn't doing well, but it seems like people still believe in Ryan Tannehill as enough to put him in the top 3 of this list. I don't think that.
I think Minshew is a better option.
I agree with you. But that's not to say that when he was good, he was good.
Yeah.
But there's certain teams that you see them derail. And in the CBS article right in front of us, they compare him to Jimmy Garoppolo. I think that's a perfect example because when Jimmy Garoppolo was good, he was great. When he was the backup for Tom, balling. When he first got to San Francisco, balling. When he took him to the Super Bowl, balling. But that's not him anymore. He lost his spot. He was injury prone. It happens. And that's not to say that it's Ryan Tannehill's fault necessarily, because when he was nice on the Titans, he was really good. Like, I think that Derrick Henry was really good. That whole playoff run that they kind of had, I think it was impressive. And I remember like the whole theme of what people were saying was like, maybe, what was it people were saying? Oh, because all right, so Ryan Tannehill used to be on the Dolphins, right? And then when he was on the Dolphins, the head coach was Adam Gase. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah.
And then Adam Gase became the head coach of the Jets. And then Ryan Tannehill then went to Tennessee. And then that was when the Jets started doing really bad. And then that was when the Titans started going on a playoff run. So the whole narrative was, man, Adam Gase had everybody thinking that Ryan Tannehill was bad when he really was great. Do I think he's that player now? I don't know. Steelers. I'm going to keep saying it. You said before that you could send anyone to Washington. You could send anyone to Pittsburgh right now.
I'm gonna say Jets or Patriots.
Yeah, you're making why do you want to break my heart, bro? You're sending all these people my way. I just told you I don't want this guy.
He's coming.
I wouldn't doubt him. I wouldn't.
He's gonna be a Jet.
This is the thing.
And Brissett's gonna be a Patriot.
Would you not think that Ryan Tannehill expects to be a starter?
I don't think he does. He shouldn't. He should be a starting number 2.
Oh, P, that's not starting.
Yeah, that's what he is.
It says that he's projected an average of in between 5 to 15 million.
Yeah, it's a backup.
That's the highest average so far on this list. Do you think that he's better than or did he show you he was better than Gardner Minshew?
Minshew's projected 7 to 10. So his floor is higher. For all we know, Minshew can get 10.
Jameis Winston?
What about him?
Do you expect more out of Ryan Tannehill this year than you do Jameis Winston?
Yeah.
Do you expect more out of Ryan Tannehill than you do Joe Flacco?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know about that one, Petey.
I do.
Oh,
I expect more from Minshew. I expect more from Brissett. Maybe Drew Lock.
yeah, it's
That's
hard.
really it.
I don't know, man. Ryan Tannehill is not someone that impresses me. Speaking of someone that impresses me,
Yeah.
though.
Let's talk about him.
Let's talk about it. What's that one? Let's talk about it. Baker, money maker, 29, 7th season, Tampa Bay.
You ready to get paid?
He's going back to Tampa Bay. I don't even think we got to talk about
Yeah.
it too much. I think he's going back to Tampa Bay. I hope to God he goes back to Tampa Bay. He really made it something special over there this season.
All right, so I feel like I've spoken about him a lot. I don't need to do it again.
Right.
He's going to make money. I said he's going to make at least 70 mil or 65, whatever the number was.
Right.
He's going to do it.
Projected 25 to 30 mil per year.
Yeah.
And we did talk
I said
about
3
it.
years, 65, I think.
I think, something like that. Something around that. It's lining up pretty close.
Yeah. Look, he's going to stay a Buccaneer
Yo.
or it says Falcons. I don't mind that.
I
But
don't mind that either.
if Kirk Cousins doesn't go back to the Minnesota, he's going to be a Viking, I feel like.
Look, I'm going to agree with you. I don't mind it, but I'm going to be real with you. I think that him going from Tampa Bay to Atlanta is a downgrade.
Yeah.
He has a good team around
Well,
him
they have
right
to keep
now.
Evans.
Hold on.
They
I'm
have to
gonna-
keep Evans.
I'm gonna just say it really quick. I'm gonna mouth this to you, and it's gonna be funny. Ready? Look at me. So, you got a lot of good players on this team, right? You got Mike Evans. You got, but Mike Evans might be gone also. Who knows about that? You got Chris Godwin. You got Rashid White, and then you got the one and only.
I don't know what you're telling me to
You
look at.
definitely didn't hear the cue. I said cue the gong. Oh, here we go, Petey. It was your boy. I was trying to throw you to alley, and you weren't hearing it, bro. Honestly, I gotta tell you, it breaks my heart that we've come so far. Cade Otton. I don't know, man.
They have a connection over there.
Another one, if I'm going to say it like this. Since we're talking about free agency, someone who would turn the Vikings offense around, I think that would be a matchup made in heaven. I think Baker Mayfield and Justin Jefferson would be I'm speechless. You see me? I'm like rolling over my words. I can't even think about it. The number one receiver with the comeback player of the year? I don't know, man. But speaking about Minnesota,
Call like Minnesota.
since we're gonna get into it, I know they just took a screenshot and they posted it of Kirk Cousins with a grill on. I guess he just got his first grill. You got Kirk Cousins at 36.
Man, he's up there.
He's up there, but he's not even the oldest player on this list. I think the oldest is still Joe Flacco at 39. But there's people that aren't that far. Look, Jacoby's 31, Carson's 31, Jameis is 30, Joe's 39, Tyrod's 35.
He's the second oldest one on the list.
And he's number one. He's still that good, though. He's still that
How many
good.
years does he get? Like a 3-year?
Look, he's projected 35 to 45 mil. He's still that good. It's hard to ever give a player a contract of a lot of years at this time. Even Aaron Rodgers only got 2. So, a lot of people were comparing their gameplay. I don't think he would come to the Jets.
No.
He's not going to take that spot. I think that he could turn the Raiders around. I think he could turn the Broncos around. I think he could. I don't see him going to the Commanders. He already was a Redskin.
Yeah, I don't see it happening.
The whole "you like that" that was him. Like,
You like that?
I don't see that. I could see Atlanta.
I don't.
Why not?
Like that's a downgrade. That's a downgrade. We spoke about downgrades.
It's a downgrade, but I'm gonna tell you this: there's still really good receivers on that team. There's still good offense being ran. A great running back. I think that Atlanta, unfortunately, I don't.
No.
I don't know.
Hard no.
I don't want. No, not hard.
Hard
don't,
no.
don't get exaggerated either.
I think it's a better chance he goes back to Washington.
No.
Yep.
No.
Vikings, Broncos, Raiders. That's it.
I'm gonna say
Or Patriots, if he's feeling frisky.
I'm gonna say Atlanta, Minnesota again. Hopefully that could also happen. Or I'm gonna say, honestly, Tennessee.
Yeah, okay. I don't mind Tennessee.
They're about to lose
He
their
could
running
take that
back.
job.
Yeah, he could take that job, easy.
I don't see him leaving Minnesota.
But then that shows just like direct disappointment and lack thereof from what they get out of Will Levis if they're gonna give up on Ryan Tannehill. So I think them signing Kirk Cousins is kind of just like a big FU to Will Levis. And honestly, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. I think that the combination of he's really still at that level of competition, but he's 36. It's like his contract is fighting for him, you know?
Yeah.
His resume is speaking for itself, but it's also a con because the resume is already so long, you know? It's one of those things, man.
It's tough.
Unfortunate.
I think he stays maybe Denver.
Now,
maybe Denver.
Aside from us just predicting, I want to also talk a little bit about it. He was already going to be off to a great start until he got the same exact injury as Aaron Rodgers with this Achilles injury.
Yeah.
Even though Kirk Cousins has always been a great player, and they show little videos of him, you know, back on his feet, you know, back training, things are going well. An Achilles injury is nothing to play about.
No, it's tough.
At all. Like, it's one of those things, like, that can make or break your entire season. So, with that being said, even though he's number one, he could end up doing nothing next season.
I wouldn't say that.
He could. He can get injured again.
He
It's
could.
your Achilles. That's when I'm look, I want to emphasize that. I'm not saying he would do nothing as if he would come onto the game and he wouldn't perform. I don't expect him to do anything but excel at what he does. But he can get hurt again.
Yeah.
And you know, in a more general aspect, obviously, that's not always the case in general, meaning anyone can get hurt. You know, even what we saw in the Super Bowl, that guy number 57, he was just jumping up and down about to jump onto the grass when he pulled his Achilles too, no?
Yeah.
Sometimes stuff just happens. So if you already have a player that you know is really good, you don't really want to pay him if you know that can happen at any time. Since it's already happened already, I don't know.
Yeah, he's going to make the money. I think, look, he got hurt in Minnesota. Maybe he'll feel more comfortable staying there, coming off an injury, as opposed to having to go to a brand new team, new system, coming off an injury too. That might be a lot to worry about. So I just think staying on the Vikings makes the most sense.
I'm going to be a little saucy with it. If Baker, for some reason, leaves Tampa Bay,
I think they swap.
that would be cool. That would be pretty cool. That'd be fun to watch, I'll tell you that.
That matchup would be fun to watch when they play each other.
Yeah, if they play each other. AFC South, that would make I don't know, man. No. Yeah, that is the AFC South. Well, it's the AFC South for Tampa Bay. I believe Minnesota is the NFC North. I believe.
Can confirm they are.
AFC South
not.
is Tampa Bay.
The Vikings are
Help me out, Petey. Help me out.
non-existent in my eyes right now because I can't find them.
Is everything all right?
NFC North.
NFC North is who?
Vikings.
Okay, I said that. And
Yeah,
then AFC South is Tampa Bay.
No. NFC South.
Who's AFC South? Like Jacksonville and...
Titans, Colts, Texans.
Ugh. Look, not for nothing. No disrespect. I've always wanted to live in the South.
Ugh.
I really have. I'm gonna tell you why. I think that people might agree that I'm a lackadaisical person. That's a good word, right? A little SAT word to hit you with really quick. Say it one more time, real slow. Lackadaisical. Chopped and screwed, slowed and reverb music that I listen to all day long. You know, I'm at the float of my own boat. I mean, I think I'd like it. So. maybe Kirk Cousins will too. Exactly.
It's a whole different vibe from Minnesota.
Hey man, sometimes you need it. Baker started out in Cleveland, and now he's chilling in Florida. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta find your people.
And sometimes you gotta keep score.
And on that note, let's take it to keeping score. Pause it.
I'm gonna let the music play.
All right, for real. Cue the music.
Cue the music.
Man, that jingle hits every time. A
Yeah,
little
it does.
different,
Yeah,
huh?
it does. Yeah, it does.
As mentioned in the show previously, I'm back with Keeping Score. We're talking about when football turns off. This is when this part of the show turns on. Sat beside by the one and only. Back for day 2 of the episode, we got Wicked David here with us.
Let's go. Let's go.
What's going on, man? Look, how are you feeling?
I'm all right, man. You know, long work week.
Yeah.
But you know,
Happy Friday.
happy Friday. It never ends. We're out here. We're grinding. We gotta do what we gotta do. We gotta give the people what they want.
Yeah,
They're clamoring out there.
they are.
You know what I mean? So we're here. We're doing it. We're full of optimism.
Okay, a little.
We're full of
What else we full of?
motivation.
Okay.
We're disciplined.
Okay, inspiration.
You know what I'm
A
saying?
little admiration.
You know what I mean?
Off the top of imagination.
Hey, you know he freestyles.
Okay, shoot it like ammunition.
Come on now.
Oh my God, set him free. Liberation.
Let's go.
Okay, I'm done. I'm done.
See what I mean? That's the energy we're coming with. That's what you guys want, and we got it.
I love it. I love it. So, what do you got for us today, David? You're here because you got something to say.
Yeah, man. So there's a couple of things that's going on around the league. First of all, a lot of good basketball is being played right now. After the All-Star break, things tend to amp up a little bit.
Right.
So you have a lot of teams that are, you know, in playoff contention, trying to keep their spots, especially the top seeds.
Right.
And you've got teams that are, you know, teetering maybe in that play-in spot and stuff like that, trying to solidify a top spot, trying to, you know, stay out the play-in or whatever. So teams are playing hard. Bad teams are still getting blown out, but
Right.
but you're definitely seeing, you know, some better matchups and some better basketball being played. So that's always fun.
That's nice, man. So, look, as far as like since the All-Star game has ended and this is the part of basketball that we're in right now,
Right.
is there any team in specific that has really just blown up, decided, hey, it's serious now?
I mean, no, man, the top teams that are, you know, like the Celtics are great, you know what I'm saying? But we've seen that before, but that's not what I'm going to get into. But
Right.
the same time, you got Oklahoma in the West. Oklahoma City and Minnesota are like vying for like that top spot. It's like, oh, I'm number one this week, and next week we're number one. You know what I mean? So it's heavy. And then you got Denver, who is still right there. So
Facts.
don't get it twisted. I mean, I believe I was watching the game last night. I think Jamal Murray got hurt last night. So we'll see
No.
how that affects. They still won the game, but we'll see how that affects, you know, because Jamal Murray's big. But they're built to be able to still, you know.
To still be able to maintain good gameplay without him.
Right.
So,
So-
they have depth at the point guard position. Then.
They have, well, you got Jokic, who is essentially,
Right, a little bit of both.
right, a lot of bit of both, really.
Yeah.
So,
I
Yeah,
saw
man.
I saw this clip yesterday. I guess he tried to shoot a full court shot and get a shooting foul for it, something like that.
yeah, I mean, listen, I've watched Denver do some, like, they do this thing, and I don't really know how to explain it, right? But they take when they can, they pick and choose their spots. They'll take like a really long time to inbound the ball. So it's like, I think I was watching, I'm like, yo, it's taking like past 10 seconds before they're even in. And think that's game clock that's going.
Right.
So it's like, because after under 2 minutes, the game it automatically stops when the ball is inbounded.
Right.
But during the game, before that, the clock just keeps running. So imagine you're
It's
already.
when they tap in the ball, right? It's like when you're on the side and you hit
Exactly.
and that's when the clock starts.
Well, no, the clock starts once you pass it in.
Okay.
The clock doesn't stop. So let's say like during the game or whatever, it doesn't stop. Like if it's whatever, like it's a made basket.
Right.
So what they'll do is like they'll roll it to them. I've seen them like
And it doesn't start until they pick it up.
No, the clock is started. The clock is still going.
Then why do they roll it then?
Because instead of passing it directly to the ref to get it faster, roll it to the ref. Then you know what I'm saying? And then like Jokic will like, lumber over, pick it up slow. Next thing you
Taking
know,
his time.
he has 10 seconds before he even picks up the ball. Then he has 5 seconds to throw the ball in. Then you have another 8 seconds to go up into the court. So think about all the time you just wasted.
Right.
You're up, tight game or whatever. It's just smart basketball.
I was gonna say I wouldn't call it wasted if it's like to their advantage.
No, exactly. Though. It's a good use of So I'm just saying like, I say that to say that with Jamal Murray being out, they're still a very savvy. They just won a championship, veteran team. So with one of the best players in the world, so I think they'll be all right.
As a big basketball fan yourself,
Yeah.
it's hard to, and aside from just being a fan of people on TV, I mean you've spoken about it multiple times about how you play basketball yourself. You've been part of the culture yourself, your whole life or what have you, however long you've been into basketball. So it's kind of hard, and I wanted to bring this up before we get into real basketball, just something I could contribute to whatever the topic is. That means you're also very big into sneaker culture.
Yeah. Pretty much goes hand in hand.
Hand in hand. It's one of those things. You hoop, you have nice sneakers. It's just like it's what it is. Right now, I want to ask you, out of all the basketball players that there are with their own signature sneakers that play actively,
yes,
who do you think has the best sneaker?
Sabrina.
You're not the first person I've heard say that.
Those
though.
things are tough.
I'm not gonna hold you.
I need a pair.
I don't have a picture in my head. If I looked up Sabrina sneaker, would it come up?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'm super curious.
That white and black, all the
they're kind of. Hold on a second.
Those are
though.
flames, bro.
They kind of remind me of like AAU sneakers.
Those things are dope, man. Different colorways too. She's got.
Talking about these, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God,
those
these
are
kind
tough,
of fire,
bro. I'm telling you, on feet they look. Those are tough, dude.
That's what's up. Now I gotta say this because I really truly believe it, and I've never in my life been an Adidas guy, ever in life. Always a Nike Jordan guy. It's just how I was living up until X amount of time. I think maybe like a year or two ago, I was like, you know what? I want to get into wearing Adidas. Yeezy was kind of popping, and like there was a bunch of really good players signing to Adidas that I admire. I was like, let me see what Adidas is about. Let me tell you, my vote for best Adidas sneaker is the Volume 8 Hardens, bro.
Those new Harden ones are nice, man. For like basketball, right? I'm not.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, I would rock them too. Period. I don't know, but you know me. I like outlandish little sneakers.
I know.
So I mean,
it's a nice. It's a really nice sneaker. I think I lean more towards the Anthony Edwards ones though.
you're also not the first one to tell me that. I've seen them and I like them.
The AE ones, man. He has like that turquoise colorway.
Yeah.
Them things.
It's like metallic almost. It gives me like, remember like how Foamposite color
things
used to
is
kind of like
fire.
shine off the shoe like
Those
that?
things are clean, bro.
Yeah, man.
They clean. So
Adidas, man.
I mean, listen, they make a good, they've made some decent basketball sneakers, but again, I have to see because my problem with Adidas was the shoe was always a little bulky.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like a bulky basketball shoe,
Right.
which is why the Kobe Sixers is my favorite basketball shoe of all time because it fit like a glove and it was nice and slim. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
So it's like it wasn't like that big heavy. Why I don't like LeBrons?
LeBrons are a little bulky on the
Exactly.
bottom.
I don't. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, they're cool. They're cool.
I like that answer. I
So a couple of things here I want to talk about. So we were just talking about Jokic, and about how good of a player he is and stuff like that. But let's give a little props to Big Brano.
Okay, shout out LeBron.
Shout out LeBron. You know what I'm saying?
Really quick,
Shout out LeBron.
the king.
LeBron the other night against the Clippers, 19 points in the fourth quarter, outscored the Clippers. The Clippers had 16 in the fourth quarter. LeBron had 19.
Wow.
I believe 7 threes for the game, 5 in that fourth. Came back from a 21-point deficit. The dude's 40. All right. I've never been like this LeBron. Like me personally, I've always for me it was obviously Kobe, and then there was always for a little bit, and then obviously LeBron surpassed it, but there for a bit there was that Carmelo, LeBron. I was riding with Melo.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was riding with Melo.
You
So
had to. The hype in New York, especially, bro.
I'm talking
like when he was in Denver.
I'm talking about coming out of in that draft, because that draft was Carmelo, D Wade, LeBron.
Right.
So I was riding with Melo. You know what I mean? So, but the dude is 40, man.
Yeah.
And I play ball once a week. All right, people. Yeah, I'm 34, and I don't know how this dude is
That's his job.
That's his job. You know what I mean? Vince Carter at that age averaged 5 points a game.
That was when he was in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
5 points a game.
And that's not to down talk anything about the peak of what was Vinsanity.
Yeah,
and
no,
all that.
we're not taking anything away from his career.
He was also
a uber athletic
superstar,
an uber athletic player too. At that, which don't get me wrong, Vince Carter will still go dunk the ball right now, but
yeah,
the level that LeBron is when he turns it on sometimes, it's nuts. Also, crazy stat, he's shooting the same percentage from three, off by 0.2 as Steph Curry
this season. That's kind of insane.
So come on. So
does that mean
and Steph takes a lot more threes than he does.
Right.
So that means that the threes that he is taking, he's
more
making
accurate.
them, and you know what I mean, and he's being efficient with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I've seen LeBron do some air balls, but I've also seen Curry do it too from time to time. So it is what it is.
If Curry shoots let's say 40 threes a game, and then he's only making 15 of them, versus if LeBron shoots 15 and he makes all 15, it's okay, you did more with what you had.
Yeah, I mean, he's not making all 15, but I mean,
you get what.
But he went 5 for 5 the other night against the Clippers.
There you go.
I could tell you that way. He went 7 for the game. He didn't shoot the ball in the third quarter. Just so you know, he didn't shoot the ball in the third quarter. Came in the fourth, gave the team 19, and then locked up Kawhi too.
Nobody could see this, but the way that you give the passion to the mic, this is near and dear to your heart. Have you always been able to speak about players in this light, or is it also because he's a Laker and this impacts your actual team that you root for?
I love basketball, man, and it's just talking about it in general.
Yeah,
just gets me hyped. But also, I think in particular, I'm a fan of greatness. I'm a fan of, watching history. You know what I mean? That's why I loved Kobe the way he did, because nobody attacked the game that way. Nobody was just wanted to be great, just better than everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's dope. I don't think LeBron has that same mindset, but either way, what he's doing.
You don't think he? I mean, nobody really had that.
No, that Kobe.
Is there?
That made it different.
Who do you think?
That made him different.
Aside from Michael Jordan, right? Is there anyone mindset-wise you think is, or you think will have something close to that mindset?
You know who I think has a mindset like that? That kind of Devin Booker. D Book, man. His shoes are ugly. They are.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Look,
no, they are.
But I'll let you finish.
No. They are. But
that's the first thing that came to mind.
You suck. But D Book, man, he's a dude he wants to go out there and win, and at all costs. He's not. I mean, obviously Kobe is his mentor, so you can see that. And yeah, man. So you do see it. You see it, and other players. LeBron's just not one. not for me anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
So.
So
we there's some stuff for us to get into.
Yeah, of course. So I wanted to talk to you about, there was 2 incidents already that's happened in college basketball
Okay.
with students storming the court.
Incidents? What kind of incidents are you?
So I
talking
believe
about?
Caitlin Clark got like knocked down,
Oh, that
one time.
Yes, that. I
and
heard
then
about.
recently at a men's at a boys game, boys. I mean, these kids are big as hell. At the
Right. They're men.
They're all 6'10" and shit like that. Call
Right.
them boys.
Right,
It was
right.
weird, right? But anyway, they're like, one of the kids or whatever guys got like hurt or stuff like that because of like they were storming the court. So I know you don't watch a ton of college basketball, but I also know that you went to college, you might have went to a game or two or whatever. You know,
Of
like
course.
you know what I'm saying.
Went
So
to Rutgers, bro.
so exactly. So you know the atmosphere, right? You know, like, what do you feel about that? Do you think that that's something that they should change, that they should take away? Because that's kind of hard to control. It is somewhat of a
Right.
safety hazard, and these kids, some of these kids are worth a lot of money.
right,
These
right.
NIL deals are
Yeah, that's not like what it was before.
It's not like what it was
like,
before.
These kids weren't allowed to have that money, so they were just a college kid, just like anybody else.
these kids are worth a lot of money now.
Honestly, I think that it's one of those things that is part of tradition. Not to say that it excuses anyone getting injured or not minding themselves, because it is true. Sometimes the energy level of an arena or a court or anything, it's bigger than just the individual, and that's why people all run in a group, and that's why the whole crowd explodes when someone makes a game winner. That's not anything that's gonna leave the game anytime soon, especially now that kids are getting paid. Kids have NILs, like you said.
Yeah,
There's more notice to people's names. There's
100%.
there's more popularity with social media. There's more of a presence that a college player is making. They seem more like a celebrity than they did back in the day.
A lot more.
A lot more. So, is it more exciting than it used to be in college? I wouldn't say so. I would say that if you ask me, as someone who was in college not too long ago, versus like college games that I went to at a younger age or after I graduated college or whatever, I feel like there was a certain part of it that was most exciting when you didn't have direct access to what was going on in the sport the whole time, and that's why you were so excited when you were there, because like the anticipation would build in your head. Oh my God, I'm going to the game in 2 weeks. I can't wait. It's gonna be da da da. I wonder what they're gonna da da da. Are they gonna wear the da da da? Or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, no, for real.
No, I
So-
know exactly what you mean.
And that doesn't mean that it's not exciting now, but that's why I don't think they should limit how people do that from now on, because
Okay.
they can't stop people from running into the court. And then if you penalize one person for doing it, you got to penalize everybody, and you can't penalize like 1,000 kids that run onto the stand, or hundreds, or what have you. So
I think personally that it's not something that they should change. I mean, listen, actions can happen in any setting, right? So at the end of the day,
people died at the Super Bowl parade.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And they're not going to stop having a Super Bowl parade. So one of the things that makes college special is that passion that college gives, right? That's why a lot of people, they'll like college sports more so than they'll like, professional.
That's facts.
Because of the passion that's still, played with and stuff like that. So, because some of these kids will never go to the professional level.
That'll be the highest level they'll ever play.
Exactly. So,
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Have you seen this clip of there's this kid,
Indiana State. I already know who you're talking about.
Kareem.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
with the goggles?
Larry Blurred.
Nah, he is nice.
He's
though.
nice, man.
Like,
He's
center,
good.
Throwing it off the backboard,
Indiana
passing
State.
it to the outside.
Come
no,
on.
yo, I've
Come on.
watched these clips. I was watching
Averaging
clips
15 and like 7 or something like that. He's
Yeah,
hooping out there.
yo.
He's actually got his team in a position to like be in the tournament. So like we may get to see this guy
Yeah.
like on national television.
Do you know the kid's name?
Just put in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It's got to come up.
Let's
Cream.
see.
Not Kareem. Cream.
Yeah, hold up. Indiana State cream. Let's see. Robbie Avila.
That's him.
That's him. Hold up, I gotta look this up for real. Wait, give me a second. Robbie Avila. There he is.
That's the guy.
Look at him, bro. He's a savage. Number 21.
Kidding me? Beast.
Come
Kid's
on.
6'10", by the way.
Yeah, he's 6'10". He moves like Jokic, bro, like a point guard. That's kind of like way too big to be doing what he's doing. It's impressive, bro. You know what? And that's what I do love about college, because you hit a really strong point, and it's facts. Whatever person is really into college sports, you're good, bro. Whatever person is really into college sports, that's their argument. Oh, but every kid is trying so hard because they want to play professional sports, so then they're giving it their all. And you'll never get that out of a kid if they don't, whatever. So March Madness is around the corner.
It is. It is, man.
It's around the corner.
It's a good time. And listen, I know a lot of people, there's a lot of college games and stuff like that.
Of
like,
course.
And but it's a good time to watch, man.
100%.
So if you like basketball, you know what I mean, it comes on most of the time. Like, you can catch a lot of games like Saturday afternoon and stuff like that, which is good, you know what I mean? So
with that being said, it's it's really funny because I have like a bittersweet feeling about March Madness because I went to Rutgers because they never went far. They're always like, their name is always in the
it's always,
and then they never go far. The farthest that any school from Jersey has went in a while was that little St. Peter's run that they had a couple years ago.
I know.
Shout out Jersey City was on the map
JC,
for a
right?
second. All the what's the name of their mascot? The Peacocks or something like that. All the St. Peter's heads that never had any pride for their school that graduated came out of the woodworks when that was happening. So, hey man, basketball I think is in a good place right now.
Yeah, man. With that being said, actually talking about being in a good place, we've got a transition happening because, like I said, LeBron's 40.
Did you just you transitioned into talking about a transition? Like, that was kind of like poetic, if I say so myself. That was like art in motion. I'm not gonna lie to you.
We'll listen.
Oh man, David came to play today. Okay, let's hear it.
We'll
transition.
With LeBron's 40,
Right.
Steph's like 36.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Draymond's getting up there. Clay, like, a lot of these guys that we've been watching,
They're old.
they're getting old.
Yeah.
So their time in the league, even though they're still incredibly nice, their time in the league is dwindling.
Mm.
So with that being said, who is the next face of the NBA?
I'm glad that we're having this
And
conversation.
I've got a list for you of about 6 guys that I think. Well,
I bet I can name them.
let's see.
I bet I can name them.
And this is actually, personally, this is actually not my list. There's one name that I would want to put on there and I would take off. This is a list that I found online, but it's pretty accurate. It's pretty close to what I would think. So go ahead though. Let me see.
Out of curiosity, before I answer this, let me ask you: do you remember where you got the list from? Just so if there is a source to be
It was
given.
it was on IG. It was one of those off-brand LBJ baller alert.
Yeah. Because that's what the names be. It'd be like NBA news here tonight now.
Yeah.
.com.
League all the time alerts. Like, okay.
All right, ready? Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say Doncic, Luka Doncic. I'm gonna say Jason Tatum.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Anthony Edwards. No,
He's on my list.
he's on your list.
He's not on this one.
Oh, okay. So Anthony Edwards is in the rafters. Then we're gonna say the face of the NBA, Giannis.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, oh, this is hard. The face. Everybody's looking at this guy. I don't want to say Jokic, because Jokic he's not that young either. So
Are you putting him on the list or not?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no.
He's on the list.
He's on the list.
He's on this list, yes.
We're gonna talk about that after the last one, I guess, because I said
You got 2 more.
I got 2 more. Oh my God, I got 2 more. Devin Booker.
Nope.
Oh, I'm gonna say, damn. Let me think. Well, can I have a hint? Let me get a hint.
No.
Let me get a hint.
Nah, man.
Yo, I give you guys hints all the time.
Use your basketball knowledge. Have you watched any of the games?
Some.
Look me in my face. Did you watch any of the games?
Some. I've watched some.
All right, so you should be able to tell me something. You got
Yo,
one.
You know, here we go. This is
Just face of the NBA, like somebody that's, you know.
Embiid,
No,
Curry.
you're out of guesses.
What do you mean I'm out of
You're
guesses?
naming older and older players. No. So the list,
Okay.
the list contains Luka, Tatum, Victor Wembanyama,
Oh.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander,
Yeah.
Giannis, and Jokic. Now,
I thought I was thinking of SGA the whole time. If I'm being honest with
Should've
you.
put him.
However, do you think he's been good enough for a long enough amount of time to be that? Like some of these other people.
well, this is why it's the next face of the NBA. Not because listen, LeBron's not going anywhere for another probably 2 years.
Oh, okay.
So you got Steph. He's probably gonna be for another 3-4. You know, especially if you keep
Right.
shooting the way. So
KD,
it's not
another
an
3-4.
exact. For me, it's gonna be Luka, Tatum, Victor,
Yeah.
Shea, Anthony Edwards,
Yeah.
and I would say Giannis over Jokic,
Word.
because Jokic just seems like one of those person like they'll try to maybe force feed it, but he's not. He doesn't really want to be like. He'll be great.
Yeah.
He'll be great and he'll win championships and stuff like that. But I think the person who has the best chance to do it is Jason Tatum. I believe if Jason Tatum wins a championship this year, then go ahead and you can stamp that now. They're going to push that. That'll be the narrative. Stamp it if you want.
Right.
It'll be a whole talking point
Right.
on first take. Jason Tatum, the new, and then Shannon Sharp coming in there.
All right, look, listen. So this is what I want to say.
Hey, Stephen A. LeBron's in the league now. I don't know. They're talking like the Club Shay Shay. But
All right,
yeah.
All right, I didn't know you did impersonations. Now I know.
Well,
That's the new one.
that was nowhere near what Shannon Sharp sounds like. But
Listen, so this is what I wanted to say. This is, as someone who doesn't watch as much basketball, but knows a whole lot about the culture, period, I'm going to say this, and this is why I also agree with you that Tatum could be that next guy. This is facts. You can tell me if I'm wrong. The people, whether that be all of hoop culture, hip-hop culture, shoes culture, what have you, the world likes it when Boston has a star. Just in general, I would say, and that hurts me to say, you know,
Lakers and Celtics,
The Lakers and
being
the Celtics.
being good. There are certain franchises that when they're successful,
it's good for business.
it's good for business.
Yo,
The Knicks,
yep,
the Lakers,
yep.
the Celtics,
The Heat.
the Heat. When they're good, it's good. These are historic franchises.
Right.
So when historic franchises can remain good and remain relevant and still have their stars, it's good for basketball in general.
And there's teams like that in all sports.
Right, of course.
Right? Like the Yankees.
Exactly.
Or like, I don't know.
When the Yankees aren't good, it's whether you're a Yankee fan or not, it's not as exciting.
It's
and
not.
you know it's not. And you know it's not.
Yeah.
So
Says the Met fans, you know.
yeah,
all
right,
that.
says the Met fans.
Right.
So
But I don't know.
no, but so there's a couple other things though. I mean, that's who I would put it to. I would actually really, really like for this guy to almost be the face.
Wembanyama?
Nah. AE, man, Anthony Edwards.
See,
He's like a funny dude too.
he's a
like,
funny dude. He's a really explosive player all the time. And he, one thing that because it's not like I don't watch basketball, right? And it's easy for me to feel like I don't watch as much.
Right.
Being sat next to Mr. I watch basketball all day long every day
Yeah.
for how many days, I do remember and always have enjoyed going and just following the teams that were relevant to where I was or where I went to school or what have you. I always enjoyed watching players that were really creative in their gameplay.
Yeah.
And I can honestly tell you from what I have watched this season that Anthony Edwards doesn't play basketball like a lot of other players in the NBA. I think he's very creative.
Yeah, he has the athleticism to do some things that you don't normally see.
Yeah.
You know, and he's super competitive. Like, I love his game, man. Like, he gets to that mid-range spot. He can get to any spot on the floor. Like,
Yeah.
he's good. I mean, Shai Gilgeous is like that too. I mean, yeah, these guys are good now, man.
Word.
Which brings me to the next topic, that these guys are so good offensively, but a lot of these older players and, you know, from different eras and stuff like that didn't get that chance because there was hand checking involved.
Yeah.
And with that being said, hand check has been taken out. So essentially, if you don't watch basketball, I will educate you.
I actually know this, but yeah, please go ahead.
So you were essentially allowed to put your hand on somebody while defending them. You couldn't necessarily extend, right? But you can have your hand like essentially placed on them. You can, by doing that, you can almost guide an offensive player on where you want them to go.
Right.
If you're a strong enough defender,
right.
you can do that, you know?
So you couldn't have your arm fully extended.
No.
You can't be pushing.
No. But you can have like that. Now there's a space. So I'll try to explain it like that. Now there's a space between players. So if you could have your hands in front of you before, you can't have your hands in front of you now. Now your hands have to be wide. So when you do that, yes, I guess you're like in a wider stance. But as a offensive player, especially if you're good handle, I can shift you to wherever I want you to go.
Yeah.
Because you can't stop me. You can't give me like that hand
until
check.
they're shooting.
And even when they're shooting, you have to give me room to land. So you can't even like really get into my airspace like that. You have to like almost jump to the side of me, like a front, like, you know what I mean? Because if you touch me in any type of way, it's a foul.
Right.
So with that being said, with these rule changes, these guys are so good offensively, and all these points are being scored, and we are seeing a lot more blowouts and stuff like that. And, you know, you have the highest scoring percentages ever in the history of basketball happening on. You know what I mean? Teams are scoring, you know, 120 points a game. Like, a couple years ago, you know, teams were not a couple years ago, but like I think it was like 2012 or something like that. Like the league average was like 100. The league average now is 115. If you don't think that 15 points is a lot of points in basketball, it is.
It is.
So with that, Adam Silver has been in talks with possibly giving a rules adjustment
to bring that back.
I don't necessarily. I think a variation of it. I don't think to bring essentially like hand checking like back, obviously, but I think there's gonna be something because you really make it hard to defend some of these guys, you know, which fans love to see,
right?
Until this guy has 30 something points.
Right.
They're blowing out the other team, and then he's sitting out for the entire third, fourth quarter.
I mean, it's like you said, you know, there was a lot of times where there was a lot of different players dropping 70, 60 points all at the same time, and everybody was kind of like, what's going on?
It happened in a 4-day span
Right.
in January of this year.
Now, it's super interesting that you bring this up because, ironically, in the same lens of what you're talking about, I was watching recently a podcast, the 85 South show, where they interviewed Vernon Maxwell, Mad Max. And on the podcast, they're talking, and they asked Vernon Maxwell, they said, is there any players today that you think could score on you when you were playing back in the day? And he spoke on how he felt as though players today, especially point guards, are trained to have extra handling because of this rule. But if they were playing against someone like Vernon Maxwell back in the day, if a really short point guard tried to like break his ankles like that, he would have just put his hand into his chest and sent him into the fucking stands. Like, there wasn't really anything back then that would limit those players that are gifted in handling to excel in the way that they do today.
Like, put it like this. This may be a little bit dated, and I haven't watched an extensive amount, but I've watched enough. Isaiah Thomas, Pistons,
Right.
he'd put up 30 in this game.
Yeah.
Don't get that twisted. I'm not exaggerating.
He wasn't a shake and bake kind of guy.
But he had handles though.
He
had
did.
he had handles,
But
and
that
he
wasn't
can get.
his main like.
But what I'm trying to say is that without being able to like essentially like hand check him and all that stuff like that, if he was given the space that these players are given now,
Right.
he's putting up 30. Or what do you want from me? He's gonna do whatever he wants to do on the court. He would have done as a point guard. Now there's a bunch of players that I can say like that. Obviously Mike, whatever, Drexler maybe. You know what I mean? Like there's a bunch of players like that. But I'm just saying like it's an entirely different league now, and
It just changes the dynamic of the sport altogether.
yeah. Like again, you want to see guys scoring, you want to see like high scoring, but I want to see it, because now and if a team is top heavy and they're, like I'm not gonna watch a Charlotte game against the Celtics because I know the Celtics are gonna blow them out in the second
Right.
court hand. But maybe if the defensive rules were a little different, maybe it could make it a tad bit more competitive because maybe Miles Bridges may be able to slow down Jason Tatum now a little bit if he could defend him a little easier and stuff like that. So you never know.
So I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you brought up the name Isaiah Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not in reference to this Isaiah Thomas, but I don't know if you recall in the beginning of this episode, we had someone call us off rip.
I did.
Our friend Caillou, and
Mm-hmm.
we asked him to have a little. It was technically our first caller on the show.
Right.
And we asked him to make a statement, and we could talk about it when we got to keeping score. He brought up a basketball point, so I want to know what you think about this. He said that, and he doesn't watch a lot of basketball, if I'm being honest with you, but he said he remembers being young, because he's younger than us, and witnessing the new Isaiah Thomas's run in that 1 year in Boston. I believe one of his family
Yeah, I heard
members
something
died.
about. Yeah, I listened. I don't exactly remember the question or.
He
the
said
statement,
that
but-
he feels like Boston did him dirty because if he had stayed there, they could have had a lot of more success with him in that run. How do you feel about that take? I know it's a very random take, but
I mean, listen. You have.
it's a
No, because like I've heard both sides. I've heard that like Isaiah didn't have like the work ethic and stuff like that. But then again, like this is all speculation because I don't know. I'm not an insider. I'm not anything like that. So
right.
this is just what I hear. And then you also, Isaiah Thomas will tell you completely different. So
Right.
I mean,
There's-
at the end of the day,
There's three
listen.
sides to every story.
At the end of the
One
day-
side, the other side, and the truth.
And the truth, 100%.
There you go.
At the end of the day, Isaiah Thomas was a good player. He did some great he was a good player that did some great things on the Celtics.
Right.
However, Isaiah Thomas is 5'9". Okay? So, I don't know how much, and he was injury prone.
Right.
So, I don't know how much sustained success you expected him to really have. And if I have the opportunity as a Celtics to drop this guy and go get Kyrie Irving, yeah, I'm doing that every day of the week. So to Caillou is his name?
Caillou.
Yeah. Who cares? Honestly.
Damn.
No. Well, like
my.
in regard to the Isaiah Thomas
That's
thing,
what
not
you said our first caller?
not who cares to your statement, because your statement was a good question. I'm saying like I'm like, who cares about Isaiah Thomas? Like, all right, like cool. He was a good player that did great things. Like, would I have liked him to be able to still be in the league or have a job somewhere as like a backup or all coming off the bench? Yeah, sure. Get your money. I'm not
Playing
opposed to that.
overseas now?
I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. So
I remember
whatever he's doing, I hope he's getting paid for it though, because I'm never gonna, not want somebody to get their money.
Of course, doing what they love. On
Right.
top of that,
But who cares?
there you go.
Legit.
Well, I'm glad you answered the question.
Yeah.
So what else you got for us?
So the last thing, well, second to last because I'm actually gonna give you guys a couple games to watch over the weekend and week.
There you go.
But the Knicks protest was denied for that Houston game. It was like a bad call or whatever the case may be. They tried to, refute it and all that good stuff like that. So it got denied. Which, honestly, we all knew it was going to happen. But I just want to say that even though I'm a Laker fan, we do live in the metropolitan area.
Right.
And we do like it when the, teams in the tri-state are good.
Yeah.
And the Knicks were going on a little bit of a run. And they've been losing some games lately, mainly because of injuries. But I just want to say, as somebody who openly, never on the mic, but openly would bash Julius Randle, y'all need old boy back.
Yeah, super bad. And
Y'all need old boy back.
Not talking the movie.
And you know what? Him being an all-star and a couple years ago, he was even he finished 5th in MVP voting.
Right.
So, you know what, man? And Julius Randle at some point was a Laker, and I think that's really what it was. I don't think it's ever that, like, you know what I mean?
That's your soft spot for him?
You know what I mean? Because, not for nothing, coming out of college, I was happy with when we drafted. I believe we drafted him number 7 or 8.
Something like that, yeah.
And I was happy with it. And
him and
Kobe liked them. And, we didn't keep him, and for whatever reason, all this good stuff like that, mainly because we're trying to get LeBron, so it is what it is. I mean, we got a championship out of it.
Would you say he's someone that has one of those Kobe mentalities, Julius Randle?
Yeah, man. Julius Randle, to me, just like hearing some of his interviews and like just like looking back like in his like career, guy's a warrior, man. He plays. He has his flaws. And I think that's what bothers me, too. It's because it's like sometimes I wish that he would just, you can't really do that. You know that that's not really your bag.
Right.
Stick to your bag. You're great at your bag. But when you try to, so maybe that kind of bothers me a little bit. But I cannot deny the dude's heart. I cannot deny how tough he is. I cannot deny that he is built for New York, for what New York brings, right? That what the fans bring, the media, you know what I mean? Like being able to take criticism and all this stuff like that. Because he gets a lot of it. But I guarantee you, there ain't a Knick fan, even if they don't admit it openly, they miss them some Julius Randle right now.
For sure. Now, I want to ask you this. For those that don't really know in detail what call you're talking about, do you have a little more detail, or do you know a little more about like exactly what had happened in the game that they were
for the Houston Rockets game? I don't remember exactly. I believe it's I want to say it was a foul call, but I can easily just look it up if you guys want the Knicks Houston. If you want it, I mean, you don't have to. You asked.
If I'm being honest, I'd love it. If I'm being completely honest.
The call in question came in the final seconds of a tied game. A bad pass led to Rockets guard Aaron Holiday shooting a one-handed desperation heave from three-point range as time expired, which Knicks star Jalen Brunson contested by flying in with a hand up. Brunson appeared to make minimal contact, and Holiday missed, which then in turned to a foul. He shot the free throws. They lost.
Oh, wow.
So, like I said, it was a foul.
So they were trying to get it reversed, saying that it wasn't a foul.
Exactly.
So then the points wouldn't have happened. They
right. And then like there's something like they would have played like an overtime period. It's a lot of stuff that the NBA probably wasn't gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So it was. I think it was more so of just like I'm gonna fight for my team. I think it came down from the actual like owner type of deal. Like, I want to fight this. You know what I mean? Just to do it. Like, even almost like throwing a challenge flag, knowing you're gonna lose. Like, let me just throw it anyway.
Yeah.
I got it on me. Let me just throw it on me. You know what I mean? So.
I got it on me. What if a bad call had happened? He didn't have it on him. Oh, damn! I guess they're gonna post about this one later.
Right. So So with that being said, today is the 1st. We're recording on the 1st. So
March 1st.
You guys probably won't hear this to the 3rd. So I'll start there. So March 3rd, I've got Golden State and Boston markdown.
There you go.
I think that's going to be a great game. I like to see New York and Cleveland. I think that'll be a good game. And Oklahoma City and Phoenix.
All right, there you go. Just one more time, Golden State at Boston at 3:30 on Sunday. You got New York at Cleveland at 7 o'clock, and then OKC at Phoenix, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Then we start moving into the week. Listen, I don't expect anybody to be like me and be a maniac and stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning watching these West Coast games.
Right.
But if you do, I'll suggest a couple of them.
They're out there. There's people doing it.
I hope they are. So we've got the Clippers and Milwaukee on the 4th. I like that game, and I like Oklahoma City and the Lakers on that too. That Oklahoma City and Lakers one is at 10:30.
Yeah.
Again, don't expect you to watch it.
Maniac
I will
hours.
be, So
Scary hours.
if you're sitting there wondering, like, man, I wonder if Dave's, Wiki D's watching the game. I am.
People like they just can't sleep at night.
I can't sleep. My guys, I don't want to. I don't want to.
Watching the game right now. Oh my god, I can't believe
LeBron's. Oh my god, he's shooting.
I need some water.
Right, exactly.
So that one more time, that's Clippers at Milwaukee at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard. OKC at Los Angeles Lakers at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
March 5th, looking at the lineups, I like this. I like Boston and Cleveland. Both of those guys are vying for top playoffs seeds, so that should be a good game.
Potential face of the NBA playing in that one.
See, there it is. You
Tatum.
heard it here first. I like Indiana and Dallas. That's just good. That's just as Luka's wilding. Halliburton will give you 13 assists. You don't even see it. It's ridiculous.
Mr. Two Voices.
He may have 3.
No, honestly, I'm not gonna hold you. That's
It's a little
scary
weird.
to me.
It's a little
bro.
weird.
Yeah. You ever seen the movie Split?
Split's a good movie.
That's a great movie.
Split. Did you know that Split is in the same universe as
Halliburton. Oh man, yo.
I would hope so.
That's funny. No, okay.
Halliburton. Nah, it's have you ever seen Unbreakable?
No.
So Unbreakable was an old. It came out I want to say early 2000s. Bruce Willis.
Okay.
So supposedly he couldn't he was in a huge crash. The way the movie started, he was in a huge crash on a bus, and everybody died except for him. Not only did he not die, but he was untouched,
Oh, wow.
unfazed. Yeah. So it's in that same universe.
Confirmed by the...
No, yeah, for real. It's Unbreakable, Split, and then I think there was and then because in that is Mr. Glass. Have you heard it? Have you heard the Kanye song? Unbreakable. What you know they call me Mr. Glass?
Yes.
So that's in that same whole little thing. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And then he had that song with Melly, Split Personality.
So yeah.
Come on, bro. It's all making sense.
So
but
you're there.
we got sidebar. That was Indianapolis at Dallas.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
8:30
yeah.
p.m. Eastern Standard.
And then Phoenix and Denver. I like them at 10 p.m. Eastern time.
All right, there you go. One more time. Boston at Cleveland, 7:30 p.m. You got Indiana at Dallas, 8:30 p.m. Phoenix at Denver, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Only got one game I really care about for the 6th. I want to say Milwaukee and Golden State. Golden State's, vying for a playoff position right now. They're in the play-in, but they obviously want a better seed. They're playing really well as of late. I believe it's 8 out of their last 11.
Oh wow! So
Or
they're
something like
they're
that.
On a little run right now.
And then they are on a little run. I mean,
With
listen,
Clay coming off the bench.
Yeah, it's done wonders, man. I don't know, and I don't know if you guys watched the game the other night. Again, I'm a maniac, but Steph 8 threes in the Garden, went crazy.
That's insane.
He doesn't care, dude. He'll shoot from anywhere, bro.
He's having fun out there.
And
bro.
if you watching Steph Curry play is a treat. If you're a basketball fan, man, that dude running around the way he does, this guy's the point guard.
Yeah.
And he's running around screens, this and that. And if he catches it with any type of space, it's going up.
Yeah.
and there's a 60 to 70% chance it's going. Well, to be exact, a 40% chance that it's going in,
which is kind of insane.
which is actually pretty good.
There you go.
And then lastly, the 7th, I like Minnesota and Indiana. Of course, Anthony Edwards is always a highlight reel, so got to tune in for that. And then Boston, Denver, a potential finals matchup.
Yeah.
Which, it's always good to see the top teams in the East go against the top teams in the West. It's always a good litmus test. So, to see where guys are at, you know what I mean? The West has usually always been a lot stronger than the East, but the East has been making a little bit of a push with some of these teams.
The East is going on a little run in these last couple of years. I feel like you give them like another 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I think the East are going to be really scary.
Yeah. So those are my games to tune into. I hope you do. If you don't, it's all good. It is what it is. We all have lives. We
Right.
get busy. I'll be watching them again if you're thinking about me, which you
Right.
probably will be. So it's all good.
That's funny, man. Well, look, on that note, I'm going to watch these games.
Good.
If not all of them, most of them. And then come next week, if you guys really care, if you guys are really worried about how heavy David is watching these games, we'll talk about some of them, So
Fact.
on that note, thanks for listening to What is Cody's Corner, Part 1 and 2. And I'll see ya.
Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me.